Okay, who here hasn't been to space? Why? You better not throw up on my ship.
Approaching jump in 3, 2, 1.
That Loki Season 2 is going to have multiple Kang variants in the series. This I'm excited for because, remember, we've talked about Loki Season 2 before, and when we talked about it, some of the things that I heard about Loki Season 2 and that, was going on in the rumor mill was that it was going to be involving an older version of Sylvie. She was going to be the main antagonist for the film, and it was going to be, for the show, and it was going to be them hunting down the older version of Sylvie. Now, early before we heard anything about an older version of Sylvie, we heard that Victor Timely, which is a variant of Kang, Victor Timely was going to show up in the series also. But then after we heard that about Victor Timely, months went by. We didn't hear another thing about Victor Timely. And we only heard these things that I'm now currently talking to you guys about the, older version of Sylvie and things like that and what's going to be going on in the series. Originally, a couple months back when they were talking about the older version of Sylvie, they were saying that Kang's involvement was really not heavy in the show at all, which I was confused about. I was like, well, how the fuck does that work? Because when we last saw the TVA, it was being ran by Kang. We know that Loki now knows who Kang is. The whole brilliant scene of him coming in saying, he's terrifying. He knows everything. He's seen everything. He already knows all of this stuff is going on right now. So that part never made sense to me. So now seeing that they're saying that we're going to have multiple Kangs, as we should, involved in the show makes a bit more sense. And I will read this from Daniel RPK. This is what Daniel RPK had to say. He said, Jonathan Majors recently filmed scenes as a variant of Kang for Loki Season 2. He also says the series will feature several Kang variants and have serious ramifications for the MCU. But this is what the direct had to say. According to a new rumor, Jonathan Majors' Kang will have multiple variants show up in Season 2 of Tom Hiddleston's Loki series on Disney+. The Loki-centric MCU project first aired in 2021, where it introduced the foredoing character of He Who Remains, played by Majors. In the first season's finale, the questionable character warned the God of Mischief about himself and the consequences of the multiverse being free. With Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the world is about to get its first look at what exactly he was talking about. Paul Rudd Scott Lang will have to go up against none other than Kang the Conqueror, a warrior version of He Who Remains. Now, before Loki's second season finally arrives, New Whispers reveals some exciting new information about what fans can expect regarding the presence of the MCU's Big Bad. Then it goes on to say industry insider Daniel Richman revealed some new rumored details on Jonathan Majors' role in Loki's second season. On his Patreon, Richman noted there will be multiple Kang variants in Loki Season 2. Additionally, a week ago, he shared that Jonathan Majors recently filmed more scenes for the project. Oh, I didn't know that was in the article. Then it says Jonathan Majors recently filmed more scenes as a variant of Kang for Loki Season 2. For Loki. The season will have more time travel. Then it says Richmond went on to share an additional interesting tidbit about the upcoming season, explaining how the show will introduce a new concept called Time Loom. Now, I love this because we talked about this. We talked about the whole Time Loom thing. Time Loom is going to be it's a device that the TVA is going to be using. I think it's going to be the same device that Deadpool and Wolverine, just from what we know about some of the leaked rumors here with Deadpool and Wolverine, Time Loom was talked about in the leak for Deadpool 3. That they're going to have that same Time Loom device that's going to allow them to maneuver throughout different parts and time, different parts of the universe and anything like that. I think they talk about the Time Loom here. Let me see. But it says, it is the source of the TVA's power. They're using the energy from the time stream to absorb it. It's important to note that all of this information is a rumor and none has been officially confirmed by Marvel Studios or Disney. So yeah, we talked about the whole Time Loom thing. I find that interesting that I like that that's going to be introduced in Loki. And I think we talked about that. I think we said that when we were talking about Deadpool 3, and we were talking about, all the elements that are going to be added into Deadpool 3, Danger being the villain, Danger being the villain, being Danger Room from Xavier Mansion, the AI sentient being. Knowing that we're going to see multiple Deadpools and multiple Wolverines, we're going to see the TVA, this being the first time we see the TVA involved outside of Loki interacting with the wider MCU. Owen Wilson is not just a cameo, he's a main character in the film. We've also heard about the whole time loom thing. That's when we were talking about that, time loom being the device that Logan and Wade are going to be using moving through the multiverse. We know that the OG Fantastic Four is rumored to also be showing up in the film. Now, even Gambit is rumored to be showing up in the film. So, Deadpool 3, before even any of this was even added to it, was always on my most anticipated. And adding all of this makes it even more on my most anticipated list. So, I'm pretty stoked and hyped to see Kang and everything like that. This is what they go on to say, though. Will Loki see the real Kang? After the first season's ending, it seemed inevitable, much like Thanos himself, that Tom Hiddleston leading character would be running into more of He Who Remains variants at some point. The bigger question is more so when any versions of Major's villains will show up during the season. Will it be throughout the season, or will audiences have to wait until the finale once again? It better be throughout. Additionally, could the second season connect to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania in any way? Maybe Hiddleston will get to meet the variant of Kang who went up against the Ant family, but if he does, then that probably doesn't bode too well for Scott Lang. Well, it doesn't bode well for Scott Lang, and we know that from the plot leak. Scott's got to get his ass beat. The whole entire Ant family is about to get their asses beat. The only one, from what we know about the rumor, is Cassie is the only one that makes it out. Cassie and I believe MODOK are the only two that make it out of the quantum realm at the end of the film. So yeah, it's not going to bode well for Scott at all. And then it says if the rumor of more than one Kang is true, then this will be the first time fans see multiple versions of Major's villain in one project, as opposed to them being spread across different versions. It opens the door to lots of awesome storytelling potential. Fingers crossed that Marvel Studios is able to utilize it best way they can. And as I've said before, and I'm going to say this, I think almost every time we talk about Kang and the MCU, we need to be seeing Kang conquer other universes. We need to see, they say multiple variants. Are we going to see Rama Tut? Are we going to see Immortus? Are we going to see an Iron Lad? They've already mentioned Victor Timely, the Scarlet Centurion. Are we going to see him? Are we going to see some other ones? Cross Time. Are we going to see? Who are some other ones? I'm blanking on some of the other variants that Kang is. Are we going to see any of these versions of Kang popping up? Are those the versions we're talking about? So they've already mentioned Victor Timely. Hopefully many, many others. I've mentioned that possibly Rama Tut showing up in Moon Knight Season 2. That possibility is there. Franklin, as Felicity said, we've got a whole bunch of different variant options that we can choose from here with Kang. I'm just curious to know where they're going to go with it for sure. But I do want to, I'm excited for it. And I will share, this is the last thing I'll share here with this topic. And this is the last topic, but the last thing I'll share here, this is what Marvel shared today. And it is a Kang, they called it a Kang teaser. This is a Kang teaser from Marvel.
It's okay, breathe. We're going to get out of this. And we're going to go home.
This place, it isn't what you think. It's a cage. But we can help each other.
He's a monster. You cannot trust him.
I'm just a man. But I know how it ends.
I don't care what he can do. He's not getting out.
You thought you could win.
I don't have to win.
We both just have to lose.
Marvel Studios' Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Experience it in 3D February 17th. Get tickets now.
Yeah, bruh, I'm telling you, I'm hyped for the Kang stuff. I really am. I'm hyped for Jonathan Majors as Kang. I'm hyped. Like, I love that. You know, let me go back to that. I'm sorry. Just the dialogue from Kang here.
Each. But we can help each other.
He's a monster. You cannot trust him.
I'm just a man. But I know how it ends.
That right there. I'm just a man, but I know how it ends. I love that. I love that. I love the cryptic, like how cryptically he speaks to Scott. Like again, the trailer that still has not been shown, and I'm okay with it actually. I'm okay with this trailer not being shown because it adds to the hype of me seeing it on the big screen. When Kang's walking up to Ant-Man and says, and this was the trailer shown at D23, and he says to Ant-Man tells him, hey buddy, you might want to chill out. I'm an Avenger. To where Kang replies, you're an Avenger. Have I killed you before? And then the look on Scott's face is so confused. Then Kang says they all start to blend together after a while. I love the cryptic talking because he's literally time. He is time. He knows how it ends. He knows how it begins. He's quite literally the Alpha and the Omega. Like he's the beginning and the end when it comes to the MCU. When it comes to, you know, so I love it. I love the cryptic dialogue. I love seeing, you know, like Kevin Feige said. We talked about this yesterday when Kevin Feige said, you know, Kang's trying to get his power back in Quantumania. So the power that we're going to see him as, how powerful we see him in Quantumania, that's not going to even touch how strong, because this Kang is the Kang. This is going to be the Kang that is going to be getting chased, if we're to believe the plot leaks. This is the Kang that is going to be getting chased out of the quantum realm into Kang Dynasty by the Fantastic Four. Again, take that with a grain of salt. Hope and Scott chasing him out of the quantum realm, entering into Kang Dynasty. Obviously, boom, the events of Kang Dynasty are then going to go to a fold. So I love that, bro. I love seeing, you know, because this, like I said, this Kang is the Kang. So when we see him in Kang Dynasty, when we see him in Secret Wars, because a Kang variant also is supposed to be the Beyonder. I don't know if it's this Kang or not, but a Kang variant is supposed to be the Beyonder. So that Kang variant would have to be the strongest one, no? Like, yes? So I'm assuming that this Kang maybe, like, gets the powers of the Beyonder to become the Kang. I don't know. But again, like Kevin Feige said, in this, he has to get his power back. So we're not even seeing him at his full strength in this in Quantumania, and that's what's exciting for me. Not just that, and seeing the scene of him doing the energy blast. There was the scene from the trailer of him on the hoverboard where he just stepped off the hoverboard, bro. Just give Jonathan Majors his flowers now. I think it's just he's about to seriously become a household name. This looks like it's going to be great. So I'm definitely here for it. But, you know, as always, guys, question is for you. Let me know down below what you guys are thinking about the new reports coming from Daniel Richman about there being multiple Kangs and not just it being centered around the older version of Sylvie, if that's even still on the table. Haven't heard anything about that in a while. So if that's even still on the table, looks like Victor Timely still could be on the table. I love the whole time loom concept being introduced, and we're going to see that even in Deadpool 3. So you guys let me know down below what you guys are thinking about some of these new reports coming out for Kang and for Loki Season 2.